Okay. My first guest you all know. Milton Berle was the first star, the first real superstar of the television industry. He's responsible for selling of a lot of television sets. I know my family sold theirs. It's an old joke. He's celebrating his 40th anniversary in television and his 75th year in show business. He's written a book, came out recently. It's really about the Friars Club and that's contribution to show business in general. And he's got a special coming up about the infancy of television called Milton Berle, The Second Time Around. Would you welcome Mr. Milton Berle? Good to see you.
Johnny, it's so good to see you. I really mean it.
Thank you, Milton.
And I want to thank you for that marvelous introduction.
I meant it.
It's exactly the way I wrote it. I like to... Oh, by the way, gotta get something. I missed the last 3 jokes in your monologue.
Oh, that was the one about the... And you're not alone.
I'm not a... No, you were talking about Don Ho?
Don Ho.
In Hawaii, I like that bit. I stayed with Don Ho in his house, at the Ho House, and while I was there... 3, 4... Oh, I got it. Before we even talk, I got to tell you what happened. I was coming through the entrance here.
Yeah.
And they have a tour going on. You know, the NBC
Carson,
tours.
yeah.
And some old lady, she's about 88 years old. She was cute. 88. Wait till I tell it, for God's sake, please. And no, it's not a joke, it's true. She was 88. She walked over to me. She looked at me. She said, "Hello, Uncle Milty." She says, "I love you." She says, "You know, I've been watching you ever since I was a little girl." I said, "Get the hell out of here."
Sweet little old lady.
Oh, no.
Well, we get strange people in here.
No. Oh, another guy.
weird people.
Another guy come over to me.
Really?
Knowing my age, he said to me, "When are you going to retire?" Waiting for me to retire is like leaving the porch light on for Jimmy Hoffa. She don't know who the hell Jimmy Hoffa is, this woman.
You're never going to retire.
Look in the yellow pages under cement.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I'll just jump in.
Jump in anytime.
Yeah. Just give me a kick under the desk and I'll jump in. When you heard the theme song. Now, you went on television in 1948, right?
1948.
God almighty. And you did the first show out of this building when it was built here at NBC.
Absolutely, right here in Burbank.
And you worked in 6B in New York?
6B.
Now, you did it all live in that time, even though we're close to live, but
right.
we don't edit anything. I mean, what we do tonight goes out, even the bit I just did after the monologue. That will actually be sent to New York unless they shoot it down at Omaha, which I hope they do. Maybe send it back. But you had no time to edit. It went out, and that was it.
Well, we did it live. We had live audiences, and that's why I got the gray hair.
Yeah.
Right? And if you told a joke and it bombed, you just stood there like a dummy, like that, you know what I mean? You know the feeling. And...
What the hell? I'll tell him when he comes in.
Can I just over here?
Certainly, yeah.
And I don't know if you know this, but you're invited.
Invited?
Ruth, by the way, how's your wife,
She's
Alice?
lovely, thank you.
Ruth sends her love.
Thank
You're
you.
invited to my 80th birthday.
When is it?
July. In July
Well,
12th.
congratulations, 80 years old.
80 years old. Well, I don't feel it. I feel like a 20-year-old, but there's never one around. What the hey? What the hey?
And you have the body of a 20-year-old, and you better give it back. You're getting it all wrinkled.
All wrinkled.
Yes. You want to light that?
No. Anyway, yeah. Back up, please.
See, here, let me.
What is this, a prop? What are you?
Permit me. Permit me. Here. There you go.
Wow. Why don't you give me the wow? Just hold your hand there. I got the light.
You're getting too old to inhale. You've got to pull in on that.
Hey, I'm not going to inhale while I'm sitting next to you, but I'll tell you the truth.
What the hell?
Don't stop. Johnny,
Yes,
I
sir.
got to tell you something, and this is really the truth. Everybody, it's on all the paper. I'm going to be 80 years old,
Right.
and I'd like to say something to the gentlemen that are in the studio and the gentlemen watching the show. That sex over 75 is sensational, especially the one in the winter. No, I'm kidding. No, Johnny, you know Ruth? You know Ruth?
Certainly do.
Ruth and I have sex almost every day in the week. Almost Monday, almost Tuesday. Now, when we want to make love, have a little fudgy-wudgy, I got to go through what they call Jewish foreplay.
What is that?
That's a good string.
Thank you. What is Jewish foreplay?
Jewish foreplay, that's 4 hours of begging. and then there's Italian foreplay.
Italian foreplay?
Yeah. Marie, I'm home. Now, boys in the band are laughing.
Okay, I gotta interrupt for a commercial here, and we'll come back. Right. Wow. Stay where you are. We are back. Talking with Milton Berle, Mr. Television. When you went on television and your show was on Tuesday nights, I can still remember the country literally, like in the old radio days with Amos and Andy, the country literally came to a standstill. People were home on Tuesday night. The bars, which were the first to have television, people actually stood outside the saloons. You younger kids won't remember this. They actually stayed outside store windows looking in at the television set for sale to watch this man's show. There were only about, what, 500,000 sets or something? It just was incredible. Everything slowed down. And you were outrageous in those days. You came out dressed up in women's clothes and mascara and all of that, and you were crazy.
Yeah, but I loved it.
Put a skirt on you, right?
Yeah.
Take you any
I was
place in
listening
town.
to Doc Schwartz over here. And,
Doc Severinsen.
Doc Severinsen. And I discovered, we did the Texaco show 40 years ago.
Right.
I looked, there's one musician that did that show.
I think you're talking about Conti Candola.
Yeah,
right?
40 years ago. I remember him very well because I never forget a suit.
Rumbity boom, boom, boom. Anyway, there were about 6 million television sets, and a few years later, something like 26 million sets. And you were one of the first people. NBC signed you to about a 30-year contract.
It was a lifetime contract.
A lifetime contract.
It expired 8 years ago.
Did you get money from them every year?
Did I get money? Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
All those years. Should have got more.
Yeah.
But that's NBC.
I'm gonna ask you an average hour on television. If you know what your show would cost the network today if you were on that same variety show, would probably cost to put on something like $1 million or over $1 million. What was your budget? Do you remember for those early years?
I first went on in 1948, June 8th. The budget for the show, if the audience know what I mean by below the line and above the line, costumes and time, all due respect, and musicians, which costs us the most, and strong union.
Yes.
And you asked me how much it cost? Don't fall down.
No, I probably will.
For the whole hour, the whole thing cost $15,000.
You couldn't get a guest star nowadays.
Oh, if you wanted Diana Ross today and want to pay her $15,000, she'd go, that's it. She would,
you don't get a whole song.
No song.
No. Your special's coming up the 18th?
Yes, next Monday.
Matter of fact, the whole week is called Berle Week. NBC is giving the whole week to you.
Yes, it's a syndicated show, John, and it's called The Second Time Around. Why it's called The Second Time Around is because those shows, as you know, were done live, and you got the audience got what they saw. You know what I mean?
Kinescope in those days, which is filmed off of the air.
It was filmed off the air. And we could not rerun Kinescope.
Right.
When tape came in, then we used tape. So these have been in my archives 156 hours of the Texaco show.
Right.
So the second time around, this show that I'm doing is scenes and stars from the 50s, the Texaco show, and it's Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra, Bob Hope.
You had everybody in the world on the show.
Debuts. They were all debuts. And Phil Silvers and our president, beloved president, Ronald Reagan, as an actor who was very funny.
Right.
And, I'm kidding.
And he still is.
And he still is.
Yes.
I hope. I wish I'd have said that.
You will. We both work for each other. We got an excerpt from the show here, a little clip.
You got some clips?
Yeah, we're going to show a piece of some of the things that are going to be on the show coming up on January 18th. Watch the monitor in the studio.
How can I get these girls to scream over me this way? I really mean that. How can I do that?
Mr. Berle, I don't think you'd like it.
I wouldn't like one. What do you mean?
No, I mean, I don't like it. All these girls screaming, always tearing your clothes off, and always, trying to rip you apart, always trying to kiss you. I don't like it.
You don't? Someone must have stomped on his head with those blue suede shoes.
I'm really very happy to be here, ladies and gentlemen, and particularly to be able to fill Uncle Milty's shoes.
Wait a minute.
You listen to me. I'm Berle.
Berle.
Two Berle days.
A little light farceur there, huh?
Absolutely.
Light comedy.
Well, that was my style. That still is my style. But it's remarkable. Do you see Sinatra?
I would tell you.
He weighed 108.
It's marvelous to see those performers again in the early days.
You're going to see the whole thing this coming week, starting January.
Interesting about Elvis, who was a nice young man. He always referred to everybody he ever met as Mr. Burrow. When I first met him, he was a tremendous star. He was Mr.
Yeah.
What?
Mr. Berle.
No, he would say Mr.
What,
Burrow,
Freddie,
Mr. Carson.
you're not in the show. Just sit there, please. No, you're right.
Freddie's enjoying his golden years over there in the chair.
About Elvis, always,
Mr.
polite.
Burle, yeah.
Mr. Berle, Mr. Carson.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to tell you one story.
Yeah.
One story, and then I got to be on the set June. And Elvis did one of the first shows with me, and I met him at the airport with a limousine, and he had Colonel Parker with him, Tom Parker.
Right.
And he was a brilliant guy. And he came in, sat in the limousine, and Elvis was seated between Colonel Parker and myself. Colonel Parker was managing him then. So I said, Elvis, I'm very happy that you're going to be on the show. I have a contract here. And as I was about to hand it to him, Colonel Parker says, give me that. Don't show that to the boy. Meaning, what? But on account of Colonel Tom Parker, with the work that he's done, or he did, that's why Elvis, there's only one Elvis, God love him.
Yeah, they had a unique relationship. It was almost a 50-50 relationship, which is unusual in that business.
I should say so.
Anyway, the book is called B.S. I Love You.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating account of...
They're laughing. They don't know what BS means.
Yeah.
It's not Barbara Streisand. It's not Barbara Stanwyck. It's not Bobby Short.
Right.
It is exactly what it's supposed
it says.
to be.
And it's 60 Funny Years with the famous and the infamous. I hope it's a big hit. It's a fun book to read. A lot of great stories.
Did you
in
like
here.
it?
I loved it.
I'm glad.
And I thank you for coming.
Hey, I thank God. I'm
And
glad to
Monday night,
I'll see you.
we'll be there the second time around. Thank you, Milty.